Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. It's Fly Eagles Fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Here
a
comes the
shakedown.
shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, kick it back here. Welcome to a Philly Shakedown podcast with Philly 500 and the greatest man of them all, Joey Shakes. What is happening, my man? How are you?
I'm good, man. We've been streaming a lot lately. We've been seeing each other's faces a little bit more.
3 days ago, my wife's jealous. She's jealous.
Yeah.
No, she could care less. She's like, good, I get time to myself to deal with this guy. But no, it's listen, combine, and then today, it's an interesting time to go on because we got some interesting breaking news in terms of the NFC East, and we're definitely gonna have to talk about it because I think it's interesting. But what's going on, everybody? How's Jonas doing? KGK, Redskin Review, MJ, David, Mac, and not the truck. Let's see who else. Bless, Black Rose, Alfredo, Spilled Milk, Alexis, Draft Junkie, James, Donnie, Jolo, Bleeding Kelly Green, Noble King, GP, Kizzy, Bradley, Big Pun, Ghostface Digital, the man, the myth, the legend, Daz. What is up? Nathan, and everybody that else is here. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And let's just get right into the breaking news that just happened a little while ago. We'll just go right into it. Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Pound 49ers are trading star wide receiver Deebo Samuel to the Commanders for draft pick compensation, sources say. It turned out that it's a fifth round pick. Samuel's due $21.7 million this year. He now heads to join former San Francisco executive Adam Peters, who will play with quarterback Jaden Daniels. Washington gets another weapon. Joey, what are your thoughts, my man?
We just talked about this a few days ago. Literally, we said,
I think they listened to us, dude. I do. I think they were listening to us.
It's one of those things where I think they come into this, obviously they're not aggressive enough for a receiver. You got two receivers right now. I mean, Terry McLaurin's turned on 30. I think this is his last year of his deal. 26 is void. So you have two players at 30 years old, technically going into the season, okay? If this was the marquee move to get you into a Super Bowl, and from their side of it, they gave up absolutely nothing for him, and it was a low-risk, high-reward move for the Commanders. Does this move put them over the top to get to a championship? Does this make them better than the Philadelphia Eagles?
No. It does not make them better than the Philadelphia Eagles. I would say no. But it makes them better than Washington Commanders last year.
100%.
You know what I mean? I think, and it's funny because, my take on the move is that I think it's a good move. It doesn't really cost you anything. He's going to come in and he's going to be with McLaurin. I think hinges a lot on how he's willing to be used. Is he willing to be used in the way that he has complained about being used in San Francisco, which is really, in my opinion, the way you have to use him, as a receiver, as a running back, all over. I mean, that's where he's dangerous. He's dangerous yards after the catch. Cliff Kingsbury should be able to figure out ways to use him and get him involved. I'm not going to say – I see a lot of people going, oh, he's injury prone, he can't play. He does get hurt a lot and stuff. But we've heard that before about guys. They're injury prone and that, and then they go to another team and then they play very well. I think it's a good move for Washington. I think it's a step that they probably need to take to be, to compete with us. Obviously, they're trying to compete with us. And I think that this is the beginning, to be honest with you, of an arms race, because I do think this increases the chances that the Eagles go after Myles Garrett. Because if you're Washington and you're saying, all right, we got Deebo Samuel, now let's go get Myles Garrett. Now they go at him, all of a sudden you've got something building. So I think it's a move that improves their team. It doesn't catch them up to the Eagles by any chance.
No,
but they're gunning for us, Joey. They're gunning for us.
No, they're going to try. I mean, no, they're going to try. Yeah, I mean, I was seeing the fans on some of the Washington fans on their pages like, oh, we go after Myles Garrett, we're set. Like they think they're going to get Myles Garrett on top of that. So we'll see how that goes. But not only does that, when you talk about Myles Garrett being important, that the Eagles should get him, but now it's like, yeah, they might have to, this cornerback 2 spot opposite of Quinyon Mitchell is going to be really important now. Obviously, it always has been important, where that really has to they have to make sure that they have their cards in order at that corner 2 spot. And what they're doing with DeJean, if they're keeping him inside, which I suspect that they're going to keep him inside, since we haven't heard any news on what the Eagles are even rumored of what they're even doing. The first step, the first re-sign, retaining anybody at this point, you're gonna, like, not saying Deebo can play. I mean, Deebo can play. Can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy is really the main concern right now. So, you look, when the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts, they ended up a year later getting Devontae Smith. And then a year later, they end up getting A.J. Brown, making these moves, a quarterback to grow with these receivers. Obviously, this is just a rental. Because they could do whatever the Commanders could do whatever they want right now, because this is only the second year. By the third year, then they're going to have to start being adjusted to, like, they got to give him a big contract, and the numbers are going to have to come down by the end of year 3. So there's a lot riding on this. Doesn't make them better. That Washington is going to, we know Washington is going to get better. They have the money, draft capital, a 5th round pick for Deebo Samuel on a low risk, high reward move. It's a good move for them. Are they better than the Eagles? Definitely not. So,
well, here's the interesting thing is, a few years ago when we were talking about, remember, we were talking about the Eagles need to get another wide receiver. The Eagles need to get another wide receiver. And we talked about it. We said there are 3 guys, and all 3 of them at the time wanted a contract extension or basically a trade. There's Deebo, DK, and A.J. Brown. And we talked about this. We said, if you don't do it now, in 2-3 years, they're going to become available and they're going to be too old. Do it now. And the Eagles were the team that did. They did it while A.J. Brown was in his prime. Now, he's younger than Deebo. But I look at Deebo Samuel, and I think that if you're just saying, okay, well, here he is as an outside wide receiver, it doesn't scare me all that much. I mean, he's good. It's when you move him in the slot, when you move him in the backfield, when you move him all around like that and get him, to use his yards after the catch and yards, after getting the ball. I think that's where he's dangerous. I just wonder how much of that he's going to want to do at his age, because he did complain about it in San Francisco. And he thought he was running back too much.
And lastly, I want to say about it is, because they have the 29th pick, they might say to themselves, maybe they thought about getting a receiver, but to say, we can't trade up that far for where we're at. It's going to cost us too much. We have to build this team more the next few years. And these draft picks are very valuable. They won't get the top receiver in this draft. Maybe they will. I don't know, depending on how the board falls, especially with us at 32 as well. So maybe they thought in this entire situation that because of the draft, they didn't have a lower draft, so a higher draft pick to get a top receiver that, to kind of grow with Jaden Daniels, because obviously we didn't waste no time after year 1 to draft some guys and draft a guy, trade for a guy the year after that, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, to grow with Jalen Hurts and keep this thing going. So,
and they were young. Yeah, we did it like we talk about. Howie is always 2 or 3 steps ahead of what everybody else is doing. He did this 2-3 years ago, and that's why he's getting him in his prime. I think it makes, like I said, Washington got better today, but they haven't significantly closed the gap that makes me say, oh, all right, look, they're going to be a problem. I think they are what they are. Now, it's the first of possibly many moves, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think it should make the Eagles be aware of what hey, look, they're coming. So we've got to get on it and make sure that we match with our moves.
Trust, yes.
Spilled Milk, thank you for super chat. He goes, laughing my ass off. They think we're scared of Deebo. We're definitely not scared of Deebo. And let's talk about this. To me, the Deebo Samuel's kryptonite, you know who that is, right? C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yep.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson can't stand that guy. He can't wait to crush that guy's face. So I know C.J. Gardner-Johnson is a happy guy today. He is a happy guy.
That's true, yeah.
And thank you, Spilled Milk, for that super chat. Angel Ortiz, thank you for the super chat. If we're all sending his draft capital to Cleveland, how many picks for Garrett? 2 firsts, a second, a fifth? Do our picks matter that much right now? I think the picks matter. I do think the picks matter. But I also think that the fact that you've been so successful the last few years in the draft with those younger guys, and you have to extend them, I think it gives you some flexibility to trade some of those picks away. And remember, you're talking about that first round pick is essentially a second round pick. It's the last pick of the first round.
Right.
So I think in the case of Garrett, I think 2 first round picks and then maybe like a second in 3 years is what I would be willing to do. So I'd be willing to do a first this year. I'd do a first next year. And then like maybe a fourth. It might not even take that much. Like Deebo Samuel went for a fifth, right? You're talking about Myles Garrett is not 27 years old. So maybe it doesn't cost you that. Maybe it costs you a first and a second. I'm not so sure it's going to cost as much as even I just suggested, So I don't know. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I mean, there's been rumblings about the contract situation with Myles Garrett that it's not totally about the money with him, and it's really just trying to get to a contender as fast as he possibly can at his age to compete and obviously get a ring on his finger. Okay, now depending what the numbers are going to be, we know it's like an $18 million cap hit, then it's like a 20 something, it's like a lot the next 2 years. So obviously this deal is going to be Myles Garrett said he will redo his deal. Andrew Berry has already come out and said, we don't want to trade him. He's a part of what we do here. But obviously, if you have a player that's mentally not there anymore and doesn't want to play for that franchise anymore, then, they have no choice but to make the move, because obviously he's not going to sit out. He's not going to sit out and hold out during the season. But this has to be a post-June trade, because that cap number, that dead cap number for the Browns goes from, I think, 36 million to like 14 million for just post-June. So they won't take as much of a big dead cap hit going forward. So Diana Rossini said today, last day of obviously the combine, she said that this news is real. She's pretty much putting out the context. I mean, not much context, but saying, this is real news, but this isn't smoke and mirrors. This isn't, trying to confuse people. This is real. Out of the combine, everybody thinks that Myles Garrett is going to land with the Eagles, and it's going in that direction. So,
yeah, I honestly think this improved the Eagles' chances a little bit. I do. Skid Marks, thank you for the super chat. Goes, Howie's time to make a big move. It's coming. It's coming. Eagles Army Down Under, thank you for the super chat. He goes, what up, fellas? Did y'all hear that Q's hometown parade? He rolled through in a hearse with a coffin with Chiefs all over it. Their dynasty is dead. I did not. Did you hear that? Oh, I've got to see pictures of that. That's hilarious. No, I haven't seen that, but I'll have to check it out. Lewis, thank you for super chat. He goes, thoughts on Hassan Reddick return? Much like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I feel like if we don't resign Sweat, that would be a move with Howie's name written all over it. Well, to me, I'm going to say because of the development of Nolan Smith, I'll pass because when he was there we had issues with the whole thing where they want to
Yeah.
go to coverage and then to make that big of a stink and then go through the trade and then he didn't play. You know what? I think I'm going to pass. I like Hassan Reddick, but I think the way Nolan Smith has developed, I think I'll pass. That's just me being honest.
Right.
In my opinion. Carlos, thank you for the super chat. He goes 500 shakes. How he has to hit this trade faster than 500 going for seconds at a buffet.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, I don't eat at buffets. I don't care about damn Deebo. They better not get us miles. They better not let us get miles. Man, thank you, Carlos. I mean, that was a great example. I mean, if people can't picture me running to the buffet for second round, I don't know what you could do. I don't go to buffets, by the way. I'm never going to be that fat man at the buffet where everybody's staring at him. How many times has he been going? I will never do it. Justin, thank you for the super chat. Is it possible for the Eagles to go undefeated this year? I mean, anything's possible, but I don't put much stock into it.
No,
I could care less, to be honest with you. Like, it would be a great thing, but as long as we win the Super Bowl game, that's what I care about.
Exactly.
Hauling the goods. Thank you for the super chat. He goes, I'm not worried about Deebo Samuel. The Commanders need offensive line before getting cooked wide receiver. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what their line situation is, but yeah, I would think that's a concern. I think they need another pass rusher. They definitely need players. They're not ready to compete. And I look at Deebo. Deebo move is just like, to me, it's just a move. It's a good move. It makes your team better at wide receiver. I told you 2 days ago, I thought the guy that they should have pursued was DK Metcalf. That to me wouldn't that be much scarier, DK and McLaurin, than Deebo?
Would have costed them probably, a lot more. And I think that's
maybe, but
probably what it is.
But that would have been the move, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I'm sorry, I missed this one. Justin, thank you for super chat. He goes, Joey, what did you say at the end of the video's shake up? What do you say at the end of your videos?
Oh, end of my videos? Oh, Shake Squad up, flower slide, peace out, peace. I say it really fast, so it's probably what.
There you go.
I say it really fast.
Fabio, thank you for super chat. He goes, Zach Ertz back to Philly for 1 year and retire. I mean, you could do that if you needed a backup tight end and he was willing to play a backup role. I mean, it's something you could do. I think he showed he still could play. He had 11 catches in that NFC Championship game. And if he's not taking a bunch of snaps, I mean, you could. I don't think it's like an impossibility, but I think it would depend on what they do in the draft. Like who do you get in the draft and things like that.
And it seems like they have some stock at tight end in this draft as well. So it wouldn't shock me if they draft like the future number 1 behind Goddard, if that's going to be the case. I don't see them going in free agency for a guy or a trade. Maybe, I mean, possibly. We'll see what happens, but
Right. FaZe Rockwell presents says Josh Sweat to the Raiders. Yeah, I mean, we're hearing a lot of buzz about Sweat to the Raiders. We're hearing a lot of that. It could be the case. I would not be surprised either, though, if the Eagles, if they say, you know what, we're going to keep Sweat. It wouldn't surprise me, but it would really depend on how much, And I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all.
Yeah.
But the buzz is going to be about Miles, and I still say this. I'm not giving up players. I'm just not doing it. And with Washington making the move they did for Deebo does not make me feel like I have to get rid of any players. I still don't feel like that. Get Zack Baun signed. That to me, that's number 1 priority. Justin, thank you for the super chat. He goes, I still didn't understand Joey. Go real slow.
Shake Squad up. Fly Eagles fly. Peace out. Peace.
What is he trying to? Is he trying to get you to say it? Is he going to scramble the words into something else?
He's a slow individual, I guess. I don't know.
Rick, thank you for the super chat. He goes cross train, JD to Lane's replacement at right tackle.
Jordan Davis.
Man, Jordan Davis. I don't know, man. I mean, he's a big guy, that's for sure. I don't know. I've never thought about that, to be honest. It's an interesting idea. I wonder if he could do it. Like, honestly, I wonder if he could do that. If they said to him, all right, lose about 30 pounds, could he do it? I mean, he's athletic enough. Mike Sweat says, what would you trade for Garrett? See, I think that a first-round pick this year is fine because it's the last pick in the first round. So I look at it like if I could trade a first this year, and then I don't know, a second next year, and like a fourth the following year, I would like to do something like that. I mean, how many picks do you give up for a guy that's 30 years old?
Yeah,
that's the question. I think we got to look at the Khalil Mack trade. I forget what it exactly was, but Khalil Mack, what they got for Khalil Mack, I think is about what Cleveland's going to want. However, Khalil Mack was only 27 years old when he got traded to the Bears from the Raiders. That's really the last player at that position that good, that I can remember getting traded.
So the Bears acquired 2016 NFL Defensive Player of the Year Khalil Mack, okay? 3-time Pro Bowler Khalil Mack with a 20. It was a second round pick, a conditional 2020 fifth round pick in exchange for a 2019 first round pick, a 2020 first round pick, a 2020 third round pick, and a 19 sixth round pick. So they gave up a first. They gave up two firsts,
a third, and what was the last one?
A third and a sixth.
A third and a sixth. But the question is where was that first round pick at? Where was it slated?
Yeah,
that's what we have to find out. Where that is slated. But so if we're talking about just draft picks, it's 2 first round picks, a third, and what was it? The other one, a sixth.
Yeah, a third and a sixth. Yeah.
All right.
2 first, a third, and a sixth.
So 2 firsts, a third, and a sixth is what Khalil Mack trade cost the Bears. And he was 27 years old. So he's basically 3 years younger. So to me, then at the very least, I think you should be able to get him for a first and a third.
Yeah, I can't.
First and a second, something like that.
I can't even see it being 2 first. I can't see it. I can't see it that way. One first, sure. No.
Not at 30 years old. Freddie, thank you for super chat. He goes, would you trade for the Raiders tight end Michael Mayer?
Michael
Mayer? I don't know enough about him to tell you the truth, Freddie. I don't know.
It was a report on today that they're trading him. I have no idea. I've never even heard of him.
I'd have to look into him. But I mean, if he can play, if he's got upside, if he's 30 or older, I have no interest. Leon Banks, a member for 15 months, man. Thank you so much. He goes, Washington's not done. So much cap space. Watch out. Yeah, right. I agree. This is to me, this is the shot over the bows, of the boat. You've got to know and recognize, all right, Washington's, they're going to go for it. They're coming for us. They're gunning for us. So Howie got to answer accordingly. And I think he will, The Chad says, Deebo is on the decline and is 30, so not too worried. I think you're right. I think you're right. But I've also seen times where guys leave somewhere and then they get, recharged. So I don't want to totally say, oh, yeah, he's done, I don't know yet.
Yeah, no.
Let's see here. Justin, thank you for super chat. He goes, what do you say, Philly, at the beginning of your video? Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Ding back here.
This thing of ours. I'm just kidding.
This thing of ours, yeah. Costa Nostra. Yo, everybody. How you doing? King Ding back here. Let's see here. You would give up 4 picks tops. If you break up those 4 picks, what like rounds?
Well, what are they? Right.
Official says Deebo to Washington means he thinks Dallas still stinks. Deebo would love to try to make the Eagles lose. He would try to make the Eagles lose. Listen, Dallas is the funny team in this whole thing to me because they're outside looking in at an arms race in their division. You have now basically DK Metcalf is what it looks like he's headed to Green Bay. Deebo is headed to Washington. I think Dallas needs another wide receiver. They need another. They need a new starting guard. They need a running back. And that's a team with a quarterback that's 30-something years old. So to me, they should be the team also in this whole arms race. They should be loading up, and they can't, which is absolutely hilarious to me.
No, I think it's management of like who they have to pay at the right moment on, especially with future contracts and on the right time. I don't know. Everybody was clowning that offensive the new head coach today. From the interview
Dallas?
We had. Yeah, they were all clowning.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what was said, but he said something about moving. Going into a big year, I don't know, something. I don't know all the quotes. I just saw people were laughing at him for a certain statement that he had going into this season. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
interesting. Yeah, that's funny. J Wheels favorite super chat goes, in my opinion, Max Crosby is the move, not Garrett. I like Max Crosby. Now I pulled up his statistics really quick, just to kind of see what he did last year. He had 7.5 sacks last year. So he had 7.5 sacks. I mean, I don't know if he was hurt or not. He played 12 games. So he only played in 12 games last year. So and then he had 14.5 the year before, 12.5, 8, 7, 10. Yeah, the guy's productive. The thing about Crosby, and I would give a first-round pickup for him too, he's only 27. So to me, he's 27, and I should tell you, I usually bring up 27 because to me that's like, if you're still 27, you're still good. You're in your prime years. You know, when you get like 29 and older, it's when I'm like, I don't want to pay that much. You know.
No, I get it. Yeah, but Crosby's he has stated a lot of times already that like he's not going to sell out for the team. He's going to ride or die with the Raiders, and he's not going to go anywhere. And I don't even know. I haven't heard nothing on him. I mean, things happen quietly, and it could.
I haven't either.
But I've heard nothing.
Well, and if they want Josh Sweat, why wouldn't you want to pair Josh Sweat with Crosby?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I also think Trevon Walker is a guy you got to look out for because we know he's got a contract situation coming up. Young Boy Majesty says, what are the chances Miles ends up like Robert Quinn? 0%. He's still at the top of his game. He's legitimately still Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And he is 30. I think he's got a couple years of that left. Quinn was 34, 35, 30, maybe even 36.
Mm-hmm.
So no chance of that. But, the thing with Garrett is that if you get him, how long are you getting him at his best? Maybe 2 years, 3 years at most, which isn't bad, really. It's not bad. So that, that's why I understand people that want to trade a Jalex Hunt, or even a Nolan Smith. What are the chances they end up being as good as him? Probably not likely as an all-around player, but you get them longer. You know what I'm saying? And I also think continuity, like the team, how they get along, how they fit together. I think all that matters too.
Yeah.
Derek Rivera, thank you for the super chat. He goes, holy shit, I also had no idea that Shake says after every video. And I pay $14.90 a month to subscribe.
I appreciate it so much, but yeah, I mean, it's just like an outro. I've just been so used to saying it for a few years, so it's nothing important at all. But I appreciate it, man.
Jim Johnson's Ghost, member for 16 months. Thank you so much. Atlanta is looking to trade Kyle Pitts, tight end. Interested? Yes. Yes, especially after watching our boy, what was that guy, Gunner, whatever that guy named yesterday?
Gunner.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't know. There was like 2 tight ends
Gunner
that I thought like, oh, nice. You know what I mean? After seeing the tight ends that are coming out, I felt like there's only a couple of them I would like. I personally would be interested in Kyle Pitts. I know a lot of people wouldn't, but I still think he's got talent, and I still think he has an upside. I would do it. I would take a chance. But I still think you need a bigger, like, how great of a blocker is he?
Yeah, that's the question. I think that's the question. Yeah,
you want like the great thing about Goddard is Goddard's a good blocker and he's a good receiver. He just got to stay healthy.
It's true.
So yeah. Team chemistry matters, Rob Tucker says. I agree with you, my man. Dwan says, yes, 500. Yes. Brooks, thank you for Super Tango. Sign Baun and Becton, trade for Garrett, draft a decent tight end. Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me.
That's really what I want. I mean, if they draft a tight end, it's whatever. But I mean, to sign Baun and Becton can get the Garrett thing done. I think you're set. You're set just from Baun being signed at this point. You let Howie just do the rest. I have nothing to worry about. We don't need Garrett. We won without him. We've said this a million times the last few streams already.
I think we're so used to negotiating or from like taking the point of view of we're trying to get over the top. We're trying to get to that Super Bowl win. We're there. Mm-hmm. We did it. So let's sign Zack Baun. Then we know for a fact, once Baun signed, we can sit there and we can say, we have a championship defense right now. We know it. Now, let's make that championship defense even better. Let's go get Myles Garrett. And I'm all for that. And at that point, I'm all for it. Just not going to take away, like, I'm just not going to give away Devontae Smith, or something crazy like that.
No.
Or Cooper DeJean, But Brooks, thank you for super chat. I like that plan. Drew Down, thank you for super chat. Goes 500. My wife has been missing. Check Joey's desk. Joey, check your desk.
It's checked.
He said nobody's underneath there, but I do hear somebody. Justin Ryan, thank you for super chat. He goes, Joey, what's your favorite Terrifier movie?
I like one probably more than all of them, to be honest. I think it was the most. I think that really put a scar on my brain for a long time. So the first one.
T. Patrick, member for 56 months, he goes, with our youth, we don't have many picks. With our youth, we don't have many picks. Get Garrett. I agree. We don't need many picks. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I kind of agree with you. I think because of the way they've drafted the last 3 years, I think they have the flexibility to do this, and they'll be okay. They'll survive. I mean, I look at it like that 32nd pick's a second-round pick, and then next year they're going to pick again 32. I think the next 2 years are going to be late picks. Codify says, Philly, my girlfriend asked me to go on a movie date. Aw. But you're streaming, so I had to say no. Smart man. She went with her ex-boyfriend, who's her best friend now. Got the house to myself, about to order wings. Dude, change your locks. Change your locks. There's no way in earth I would have ever had a girlfriend that was friends with her ex. I could never do it. I would never do it. Never, ever, ever, ever did I mess around like that. You're a good man, because I would be like, you're a good man. Ain't no way. Joey, ain't no way I do that. Aaron Jones, David Super Chat. There's no way they give Garrett away for anything under 2 firsts. I would give 2 firsts on Bryce Huff, but they have to take his contract. Yeah, I'm willing to give up 2 first-round picks because I think they're set. Like I said, I think they're going to be later picks. But I mean, the question I have is, who's the last player, non-quarterback related, that was 30 years old or older that a team gave up 2 first-round picks for? I'd be curious to know.
I can't remember.
I honestly would.
I don't know.
Yeah, does anybody know out there? I honestly don't know. But who's the last non-quarterback player? This is the question. The last non-quarterback player that was 30 years old or older who team traded at least 2 first-round picks for him. I would love to know who that is. Cavo, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Max said he would love to play with Philly at the Super Bowl. Oh, I'm sure, but I mean, is he looking at leaving? Like, did they talk about trading? He to me is desirable in that he's 27 years old. He's proven himself that he can get double-digit sacks. I think it would be a great pickup, a great pickup. Let's see here.
Be great.
Pits for Huff, I like that. Yes. Nifty says, any interest in bringing back Reddick? I don't really have interest in bringing him back. I don't know. Maybe I just got I was so against the trade when it happened, and I was so worried that it was going to kill us and come back and haunt us. And then the fact that I saw what I saw out of Nolan Smith and stuff, I just feel like, I think we just need to close that chapter.
By league rules, they can't bring him back anyway. It's got to be like 2 years.
Well, what about if he's a free agent?
I think it's still. Yeah, I don't think it matters.
I think he could come back to Philly as a free agent, but not as a trade. Like, they can't trade him back. Leon Banks, thank you for super. Because how are you going to tell a guy where he can and cannot go?
Yeah, maybe.
Here's an example. C.J. Gardner-Johnson left, went to Detroit, and then came back. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Leon Banks, thank you for super chat. Goes 500. I'm still with the 40-year-old clapper cheeks. My man.
What is
doing? My man's doing something right. He's doing something right. Justin, thank you for super chat. He goes, our Eagles are going to the White House to meet. I won't read that second part, but are they going to the White House? They said if they're invited, they'll go, which is going to happen. So I guess so. Please don't demonetize us. I just answered the question. I got demonetized in that video for that. Brooks, thank you for the super chat. Hell yeah, Leon. Marcus says, he's talking with somebody else. Concerned how he's a great GM, but he can manipulate the cap. He can't manipulate the cap. Howie's very good at going around the cap. I mean, that's his strength, Nifty, thank you for super chat. Goes, if Becton can't come back, I think Tyler Steen is a good replacement, or at least bring him competition. An article talked about bringing back Reddick. Interesting. I didn't know there's an article. I haven't read the article on that yet. I'll check it out. As far as Steen replacing Becton, I mean, that could very well happen. Although I really like the role Steen's in, where he's basically, he floats to wherever side he needs as a backup. I would give Keegan the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Let's see. Nifty David Super Chick goes, Deebo Samuel is now Commanders, not good. It's the shot across, over the head, basically saying, here we're coming for you, Philly. We're gunning for you. This is the first of many moves. I expect Washington to be probably top 2 to 3 most aggressive teams in free agency. So expect it. It's not surprising at all.
When you got money like that, you can definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Trying to catch up to Anthony says, I'm not trading the farm for Garrett. I'm not either. I'm not even trading. I'm not even trading I'm not even trading like a chicken or a horse or anything. I ain't giving anything up. I ain't giving anything up for him except for draft picks. He can have draft picks. That's it. I mean, and when I say that, I'm talking about, our young starters who are really, I'm not talking about guys on the team that, will never make an impact. Garrett wants to win. He does. Eric says 500 was looking at the wife to see she's going to react to him. Laugh out loud. I really wasn't. But Trevon Walker is a beast. Yes. 100% Ringo still not there. He's great on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still developing, but I don't know. That cornerback spot is going to be interesting. Rick David Super Chat goes, in my opinion, need Rodgers back too. I think if you could get me personally, if you get Rodgers back, I'd go after him. I'd get him back. I think he should be fairly cheap too, right?
Yeah, he should be very cheap. I mean, he hasn't played to a certain extent where he should be getting big money or anything like that. I mean, I would say it's going to be like, $1 to $2 million a year. I mean, it can't be that much unless they want to, sweeten the pot a little bit and give him a little bit more, depending on what this number 2 spot's going to be opposite of Quinyon Mitchell with the Slay situation and everything else. So,
right. Exactly. Let me see here. 500. Do you think Howie trades for Harold Landry instead of Myles Garrett? Yeah, I mean, he had 9 sacks last year. I'm looking. He's 28 years old. I mean, it's possible. I would not put that past the Eagles. He's a year, a little younger. Not quite as good as Myles Garrett, but he's decent.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an injury history as well. So I mean, he'll definitely be cheaper to trade probably.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've said this since the trade deadline last year. That the Myles Garrett number 1 would be my choice number 1, obviously. But man, I think if we could somehow snag Trevon Walker, another Georgia guy that a lot of upside, has shown that he can play. I think it's going to be a interesting contract situation with him. I mean, they paid all that money to Josh Allen. Are they going to pay him too? That's the question. So, maybe somebody like that, Nifty David Super Chat goes, well, somebody saying to trade Devontae. Yeah, somehow Devontae Smith his name got put out there and it was all over the place, supposedly in Indy. His name was being mentioned as one of the players the Browns want in return for Myles Garrett. And I'm just like, I couldn't be against that more. Could not be against that more.
Comment.
I know you too, right? You don't want to trade him.
Oh, I already know who spread it, so I already know who spread it.
You think so? You think it was him?
Yes, 1,000,000%. I will stand here right now. I will get up right now.
You think it got all the way to Indy like that?
Let me tell you something. It's been like that for years. Like all it takes is one little thing that gets traction. And it could be said it could have, in the NFL world, especially on social media now where everyone knows each other, it travels fast, man. That's what I believe. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, it might. I mean, the hell I have no idea where it came from. When we were doing the stream, that was shocking to me that name, that Devontae Smith's name would even be put out there. Skidmark's favorite super chat. He goes, he won't be 30 until the end of the season. The Browns won't trade him before June 1st. The picks will be in 26 and 27.
Okay.
I'm open to it as long as they're picks,
Yeah, well, they could trade the picks before for a designation for June 1st, so that doesn't affect anything. The picks won't be in. They just got to do it before the draft. So that's it.
I would do it. Yeah. Nifty, thank you for the super chat. Goes, Ringo has stiffer hips than. Oh God. Thank you, Nifty. Oh boy, he's all right. He all right, dude. He says, chat. Who says no Browns give up Myles Garrett and a first? Eagles give up Bryce Huff and James Bradbury. I don't think anybody wants James Bradbury. To be honest with you.
He's got no value.
Bryce Huff, I don't know what if there's a team out there going, look, this guy's got talent. If the Eagles eat that money and they eat that money, he's worth the trade. maybe somebody. I mean, maybe if you could do like a first round, a second round, and Bryce Huff. I mean, that's like killing two birds with one stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see, Felton, Denver Super Chat goes, Washington has cap space, but they have 29 free agents. Yeah. Look, I know everybody's looking at Washington as, they're going to be really good and they're our biggest threat. I think they're the biggest threat for us in the division because I think the Giants stink and I think Dallas is on the decline. But I'm not so sure for the NFC conference. Like, I'm not so sure that they're going to be ready to go back to the NFC Championship game. I mean, I like that kid. He's good, but we've seen good quarterbacks who have good third years, good fourth years, and so on, struggle in that year too. So we're going to see what he does year two,
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, it's like he has to build off of that, and we'll see what happens. 1 year's 1 year at the end of the day. So,
yeah. Landlord, thank you for the super chat. He goes, why do Eagles count non-Super Bowls as trophies? Dallas envy. Why do the Eagles count non-Super Bowls as championships? Dallas envy. I mean, I don't think anybody envies Dallas. You haven't done anything in 30-something years. The argument that is made with the championships and non-Super Bowls is that basically they're however old all those championship games were still the highest level. They were basically the Super Bowl of that time period. And if you're going to talk about 30-year-old Super Bowl championships, then why not talk about those championships back in the day? That's what they're saying. I think once you get to 10 years, stop talking about it. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, would you rather have five of them you've never seen, or would you rather have two that you have? That's my question. Because half that Cowboys fan base has never seen it.
It's old news now. Nobody wants to hear that. It's old news now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see here. Mark my words, Daniels will regress in year two. Defensive coordinators have more film on him and now will target his weaknesses. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen with so many guys. It very well could, and the truth is McLaurin's 30 years old. Deebo's 30 years old. Deebo seems like one of those guys that, man, is going to get constant hamstring injuries. He's always got some injury type thing. The way that the Niners have used him might have beaten his body up more. We don't know. I'm not going to say he's not going to be good or he's not going to be an upgrade. I'm going to give them benefit of doubt on getting a good player, but they're not ready to compete with the Eagles.
No, not right now. They're not.
Cowboy fans delusional as ever. Always. I mean, they're really. If I was a Cowboy fan, I'd be like really worried right now. Like the Eagles in Dallas, the Eagles in Philly look like they're getting ready for a nuclear arms race. That's what it looks like is about to happen. And when they do that, Dallas is going to be left with the Giants. Carlos, thank you for super chat. He goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, which is the importance of resigning Baun? In my opinion, this is our biggest decision, especially with Dean out. If on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most important, 1 being least important, I would say Zack Baun 11.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that big of a deal. Yes, it's a huge deal.
Yeah. Because if you don't sign him, you still got a really good defense and stuff, but you got this glaring hole all of a sudden that you have to fill and that you're going to have questions about. As soon as you sign him, from a starting standpoint, you could go across that whole roster and you've got a championship defense. You're set to go. It's all about depth, and stuff like that. So I think it's important.
And if he walks, it's almost like you're starting over again. And then Trotter Jr. is going to have to, we'll get an opportunity. And I think he'll be a solid player for us. But when you're trying to repeat here for another championship, like the championship move is re-signing Zack Baun. I mean, you got Ben Van Simmeren coming off a knee injury. The Kobe Dean's not going to play till October. I mean, I don't know when the Kobe Dean's coming back. It's definitely not September. It's going to be October, November. And when he comes back, it's going to take like another month for him to like get to be himself again. What he looks like, the patellar tendon injury is a serious injury, a serious knee injury. So hopefully he comes off it great. And then the Eagles can resign him to a cheap price after 25, because that's probably what's going to happen. But if you let Baun walk, you might have to go into this draft and get that linebacker from Alabama. I don't know. You might have to draft early at linebacker, which the Eagles never do, but you kind of have no choice.
You have to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think Baun's crucial. I think Baun's more important than Myles Garrett. And see, that was the report with the Rossini where she said the Eagles may sign Garrett over guys that they're expecting or you wouldn't think let go. I think she was referring to Baun.
I really hope not.
I think that was the name she was putting out there because we know Milt Williams isn't coming back. So who's she talking about? Josh Sweat? I think she was referring to Baun. But I think the Eagles, they're more than capable of signing both those guys.
Yes.
They're more than capable of doing it.
Yes. I don't see why not.
Nifty, thank you for the super chat. He goes, opinion on Trotter Jr. starting. I'm high on Trotter Jr. I think eventually he's going to be a Pro Bowl linebacker. He just needs time. The thing is that nobody expected Zack Baun to be a defensive player of the year. So we may have to wait a few years before that. You know,
I mean, Fangio made it seem like going to the playoffs that they're, after Nakobe Dean ended up getting hurt, that there was going to be some open competition on field in the playoffs between having Oren Burks and Trotter Jr. And he was like, oh, we'll see how both players. Oren Burks started playing and he was producing. And, if it's broke, don't fix it. Don't change anything. And they didn't change anything. So Oren Burks was playing at a high level. Especially in the playoffs, you can't be switching players to see which one, you got to stick with, what's working. And I think when Oren Burks, did he have a fantastic first game? No, but then he really he took off and it tied his hands. I mean, you can't start Trotter at that point. Trotter's going to be a good player, man, but you let Baun walk, you're hitting the reset button all over again, especially if you're not going to, at least if Baun walks, replace him. Maybe they changed their philosophy. They changed their philosophy on signing him back to $12 million a year, which they haven't done in years, to big money. And now they could do it again. If Baun does walk, they could change their philosophy again and draft a linebacker early. So,
I think they will. I think they will for Baun. I do.
Yeah.
Alfredo, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Howie equals Gare get best of the best 2K Sequel AJ card. Yes, I agree. Howie equals get all those guys. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
We agree. Rogue says, I agree with you guys. I really think the only guy that will play well will be Boat next because he's got a better coach and offensive line. Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. I bet Marcus forced his child to support Dallas. I don't know. Eagles has landed Super Bowl champ. I love it. 3 players I like to pick. I like with picks 32 if available. Defensive tackle Walter Nolan, linebacker Jihad Campbell, and then Nick Amenorori. Yeah, I like that. I like both those guys, man. Especially the Campbell's the linebacker we're talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy that you have to go out and get if you lose. To me, I mean, if you lose Zack Baun, who are you going to get? What are you going to do? What are you going to do in that position? You have to go get him, right? Am I right?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You're gonna pry off another player that hasn't done nothing for another team, and hopefully with Fangio's like magic in his mind that he's gonna see some other player as a high-rise type player that's gonna turn to a superstar. Can it happen again for a second time? I don't know. I can't really tell you that. Can't tell you that.
Yeah, I think, I mean,
Not promised.
I just think it would be very it would be very, very. I see. I just think it's like, I think it's like you're killing yourself if you let Zach Baun go. I just don't. I can't come to grips with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
how do you let him go when he's done what he did?
Yeah, it's already enough. I don't like not here, and this is what the Eagles do before every free agency. It is so quiet. This happens almost every year where you hear rumors about who they can acquire, but you never hear rumors on who they're going to re-sign. And this is almost like every year this happens. We don't even know who the top priority at a re-sign is right now. We don't even know if it's Mekhi Becton over Baun. We don't even know if it's, you know what I mean? That's how crazy it is. It's going to get crazy, you know. So what's going to happen is, once March 13th starts, free agency starts, okay? And some deals will get done before the new league year begins on that day. So most of these trades will probably get done. You know, Washington is going to make a lot of moves, and Eagle fans are going to implode on free agency day, on the first day of free agency, because they're making all these moves. Well, this is how we do it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. But we already know this. 88% to 90% of this Eagles roster is complete right now. Literally, Zack Baun as the only signing to start. We sit back. I'm not worried about Mekhi Becton, right guard. I'm not worried that Jeff Stout won't figure it out. I'm not worried about other stuff like that. It comes down to Zack Baun, not Myles Garrett. It is Zack Baun. This defense wins you a championship. It does. Look what it did last year.
Yeah, so, because you're solid from all three levels. You're solid in your line. You're solid linebacker, and you're solid. You know, I just think that's the number one priority. It has to be. And I like Myles Garrett. I like him a lot, but it's not enough. It's not enough to sway me to not go out and get Baun. You know, the only way it's possible is if unless they know something we don't, that like, oh, it doesn't matter if Trotter was in there, he'd do the same thing. I thought when Trotter played, you know, the game versus Dallas at the end of the year, was it Dallas that we didn't play our starters? No, it wasn't Dallas. It was, who was it? The Giant. I thought he played well. And I thought Oren Burks played, because Oren Burks made such an impact early in that Green Bay game with forcing a turnover, it became very hard to take him out. But I like Trotter Jr. I'm thinking more along the lines that you put Trotter Jr. out there for Dean until he comes back, but you have Zack Baun out there, and you'll be okay with that, you know?
Yeah.
Nifty, thank you for the super chat. He goes, any corners to draft first round to play opposite number 27? I mean, there are some corners out there. I don't know which ones are going to fall in that number. It looks like the Eagles are interested in some safeties, though. You know, that's the thing that to me is interesting, is that they talk to a lot of safeties. So, you know, will they go out and get a safety? That I don't know.
I mean,
you know,
sorry to cut you off,
no,
but I'm saying, like, times are changing in Philadelphia right now. Okay, I just talked about different philosophies. I mean, realistically, you know, you didn't expect to draft 2 DBs last year, but obviously how that draft fell with 14 offensive players and no quarterbacks drafted, it opened up the rest of the first round for us, and it opened up that second round like a can of worms, where we moved up one time and got Cooper DeJean, probably the steal of the draft in the second round. Okay. You know, what if the Eagles, what if the start of free agency, like, they don't sign Rodgers, they don't sign, Slay doesn't come back? What if this first round pick at 32, whether they trade up, maybe 5-10 spot, I don't know, whatever. What if it's another DB?
I have a hard time believing it would be a corner, but a safety, I think, like, a safety that can play in the slot, meaning you'll kick Cooper DeJean outside, and then he'll take over. You know, I mean, that kid was it from South Carolina, Warnery, right? The Nick Warney.
Yeah.
Say his name right.
I can't say his name either. Yeah.
But dude, 6'3", ran a 4.38. All right, the dude's got absolute potential. You know, he's a guy that goes around. If you look at some of the mocks, like anywhere like around 27, 28, 29, 30, somewhere there. I mean, he could be a guy that if he's there, they snag, and I would not mind that at all. You know,
even if like they don't want to, a Malachi Starks, if they're not going, obviously, because he'll have to redshirt behind Reed Blankenship, obviously, because he becomes a free agent. You can go for a Malachi Moore from Alabama on day 2, and he's a hybrid player that could play inside if you need him to. That's
I kind of think they like that idea of a guy that could play maybe safety if you need him in the future to play safety, but also capable of playing in the slot. I think maybe they're looking for that. And that tells me that the plan with DeJean is outside, to kick him outside, and so, we'll see. That kid from South Carolina, though, I can't pronounce his name. I mean, dude, 4.38, 6'3". If he could cover and he could play in the slot and play like a slot corner safety, like hybrid. Yeah. Nifty, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Deebo will be used on end arounds and screens. Yeah, I mean, I think that's how they got to use him. The only question is I know he's had a problem. He complained about them doing it, making them do those kind of things too much in San Fran. So we'll see. Nifty, thank you for the super chat. He goes, in my opinion, Sidney Brown is a bust. Reed is a star. CJ Gardner-Johnson, too. Maybe a safety is a good idea. McCollum is bad also to develop. DeJean was great in the slot. Don't move. Yeah, the thing with DeJean is I think DeJean is going to push to be outside because he wants that big contract. Now, I look at DeJean. We're talking about guys that could be corners and safeties. I think DeJean is that guy, too. You can't tell me the kid can't play safety. Did you see what he did to Derrick Henry?
I know.
His guy can do everything.
Yeah, well, even the Jamar Chase tackle on that crucial 4th down. I mean, he could make open field tackles on number 1 receivers like that. I mean, that's an open book for me.
I think, sometimes in the slot, it's not just about a guy not, doing anything, but it's about being able to catch and tackle right away in the slot. The yards after the catch in the slot could kill you. So that's important,
Yeah.
I think safety, I don't know about a pure outside corner, but as like a safety kind of guy, I think is definitely very possible. And it may be that they're the best player on the field when the Eagles are, on the board at the time.
Now, Nifty has a good point on the super chat because, obviously, I think Reed was highly valued when Fangio wasn't here in 23, and we thought, he could play safety, he could play corner, he was a hybrid type player, good special teamer. It just seems like Fangio doesn't like him. Now, I wouldn't say bust, obviously, because he's not a first round. What was he, a 3rd rounder? Whatever he was. So you can't really label the bust thing on a player like that unless he was a first round pick that's not really working out. But I would have to agree that the backup safety spot it's definitely lacking. I don't like McCollum's coverage, but his tackling isn't bad. But I like Sidney Brown's coverage, but I hate his reckless tackling. They're total opposites. And it seems like he takes McCollum over Sidney Brown. I mean, Sidney Brown in a lot of cases, when the first guy is injured or someone's out, McCollum is in there before Sidney Brown. We've seen that a million times. So, there could be, with Reed Blanchard becoming a free agent after 25, after this season, they might not pay Reed and they might get the future guy right now to sit behind.
Right. I think it depends. What do you look at Reed Blanchard as? Do you look at as a really good starter? Do you look at him as a Pro Bowl guy? Do you look at him as a top safety in the league? And it may just be a numbers thing where, we already got CJ Gardner-Johnson. We got to pay him. Right. And, we're going to have to unfortunately let Reed Blankenship walk. So why not have his safety ready to go in a few years? I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Right.
But, you know, I thought it was interesting that the Eagles were talking to so many safeties. But then when you started to think about it, you could see how it makes sense, you know?
Yep.
I like McCollum. Kid just needs some time to develop. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe he keeps developing, you know. But in the meantime, you know, it just may be simply if we're picking here, we're going to take the best player on the board, and it looks like it could be a safety, and they're just preparing for that. So, you know, who knows? Christopher says, "Don't forget we picked up Lewis Kine at the end of the year." Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's another Fangio move where they're like, you know, he's a former first-round pick, and we're just going to pull out as much skill as we possibly can in the offseason program to see what he could do. And that's really where that's going. It's a camp move to see what he could do, and that's it. You know.
Yeah. Taco Star says City Brown is a dog. I like him. You know, he was coming off of injury last year, so it's kind of hard to. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to, you know, put it all on him last year. We knew it was gonna take a while, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I like him, but I do wonder, you know, how good he'll be. I don't know what his upside is. So I mean, we'll have to see, you know. But I will say this: if they're looking for, my cat's crying, but she thinks I'm talking to her. When you see her, she thinks I'm talking to her, and she's talking back.
I don't know what you're
she doesn't understand it. There's a camera and all that stuff. So she thinks she's like having a conversation with me. I don't know what she's wondering what I'm saying. I don't know. 50 David Super Chat goes, McCollum's a bit faster than Brown, in my opinion. Yeah. 500. Did you see Mitchell had a parade at his hometown and they had a Hertz pointed cheese coffin? Yeah, somebody said that earlier. I did not see that. I'm going to have to go check it out, though. That's hilarious. No? Let's see. Rumors the Raiders have spoken with multiple teams about a potential trade for tight end Michael Mayer. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. You know, I mean, I don't know enough about him to tell you, you know, my thoughts on him. I didn't watch enough Raiders games. You know, I know they got that rookie kid, and he's awesome. But, you know, I mean, is he a backup tight end? Or maybe something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, for a trade, I mean, yeah, there's a lot. There's even more reports coming. I mean, I just went on here just to see. There's even more reports on a trade for him, and yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I need to check out the statistics and what he's done the last. I don't even know. He's 24 years old, so he's young.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I'm not opposed to it. I have to go check him out. I don't know enough about him. Sue Blaze, David Super Juice. What up, guys? What's going on, my man? How are you?
What's on, man?
Love to dream. There's no way a guy falls out of the first round. I don't know what guy you guys are specifically talking about, but you know, somebody always falls and somebody always goes early. Who thought DeJean would go, you know, into the second round?
That draft was like,
that
oh
draft
my god,
that draft was awesome.
It was a great draft.
That was just like watching like the first 15 picks of that draft. Like, do you remember when we got to like 10 or 12? We're like, dude, there's been no defensive players. It was like, wait, is this really happening? Is Quinyon Mitchell really going to fall to us? And it was like, I just kept thinking, somebody's going to swoop in. Somebody's going to swoop in. And then when we got him, and then you go out and, you know, you start the next day of the draft, and we're like, you know, Cooper DeJean is still there. No, there's no way he's going like first 3 picks. And then it's like, wait, is there maybe we then boom, Eagles trade up and like, oh my gosh.
See, that's why we figure a lot of things out. And this isn't, we're not, we're not hitting our own drum or whatever we're not trying to say anything like that. It's just that it's hard even go through the combine and look at all these players. It's hard to really narrow down who really is the big targets, because you got to get through free agency, and it doesn't make it makes it a little bit easier to see like what the Eagles could really target going into this draft. And and when we see the talent, dude, we call it out, and they get those guys.
Yep. In flight, they were super chat. He goes, we get Miles, Jair Alexander via Mastermind Howie. That'd be pretty crazy to have Alexander on that team along with Miles. That would be a scary defense. Nifty, thank you for super chat. He goes, trade Saquon, bring back Sanders.
Not in your life. Not in your life.
Just a little fun stream. Yeah. 10 years, 2 wild card wins against terrible teams. You must be talking about Dallas. Who are we talking about?
I think so.
Attack of the Hemorrhoid. Thank you for super chat. He goes, whatever happens, happens. But I'm Baun or bust. I mean, I feel the same way in a lot of ways. Not that, like, look, if Baun doesn't resign, well, I'll look at this defense. I'll say this is a really good defense that needs that one piece. It needs that linebacker. That's what I'll say. It needs a linebacker.
I'm telling you right now, if they let Baun walk and they don't even have a target in that first round for a linebacker, and they go say, hey, Trotter Jr. is going to start, and we're going to trade for John Swanson, the special teamer from this team, to come here because I see he has all the talent of being an inside linebacker. I don't know what to tell you. I really hope that doesn't happen. But there's no such thing as John Swanson. I'm just making up a name because sometimes they just pick a guy out of.
That's my favorite. I got a John Swanson jersey. What are you talking about? Dude, one day I believe that there's going to be there's going to be a sports documentary on us, and it's going to be about the Matt Corral jersey, and the luck it brought us. They're going to do a documentary. That jersey has brought us such good luck from the draft that it has to be the Matt Corral jersey. It has to be.
It's crazy.
Johnny Pay says he's been in the chat. He's always in the chat. He's really. I'm not sure who we're talking about, but I agree with you. Whoever we're talking about, I agree. Eagles King and Queen 24. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. I missed the membership. Oh no. Let me find it. I apologize. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Looks like I missed 2 of them. So I'll go back here. Oh, it looks like I missed this. Looks like I missed 3 things. Yeah, I apologize, guys. Nifty, thank you for super chat. He goes, let's stay away from Micah Parsons. Bad for team. As time goes by, I'm becoming more and more in that mindset. From future Eagle Micah Parsons to, I want this guy. You know what I mean? So, I hear you. Radiation Bots, member for 30 months. Thank you so much. He goes, injuries diminish Deebo, not a route runner age. Yeah. No, I hear you. I agree. I agree with you. Lucius the Show, member for 17 months. Thank you so much, man. Sorry I missed this earlier. Nowhere did it come out from any source but Dan Silio. He does this every year. Then the report doesn't happen, and he alters it. Well, what will he alter it then to? What will be the alteration? That's what I want to know. Nifty, thank you for super chat. Says, who's going to draft Dion's arrogance son?
I think
that's a good question.
The Titans, maybe. I mean, I don't know. So
yeah, and I think I got the rest of these here. I think we're all caught up here.
Would Ayuk would have been a better trade than? I mean, he's coming off an ACL, so obviously that probably wasn't going to.
Well, I think Ayuk's a better pure receiver.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like to me, Deebo's value wasn't being a wide receiver; it was being able to use him in the ways that they used him and all those mismatches that he created. So yeah, I think Ayuk would have been a better I think he would have been better, if he's healthy. I mean, I think, look, he's going to help Washington. He makes them better. I'm not going to say he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, man, DK Metcalf looked like, to me, the guy they should have went after. That's really that's your A.J. Brown move, in my opinion. So I'm glad that they didn't do that, is what I'm saying. Nifty, David Super Chick goes, if DeJean moves outside, there will be a white side of the secondary and a black side of the secondary. Never been done in history, if I recall. How do you even think about that? How did that even, how did you even think of that?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. I guess you're right. But I don't know. To me, as long as they can play, it's all I care about. Landlord from Wakanda, David Super Chat. He goes, new season, Super Bowl, old news. They still them boys. They still stink. That's the truth. Bird Gang, David Super Chat goes, our first Super Bowl was on my wedding weekend. This Super Bowl, we had our first baby. Oh, very cool. Name is Lincoln, a.k.a. The Link. I think my wife is our good luck charm. Tell her to heal up, and let's get ready for round 2. We gotta have you need a little Saquon to run around. But that's awesome, man. Congratulations on the new baby, man. Definitely. But yeah, man, I think we're over an hour, and I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up tonight. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. I see Isaiah Bond is running. Well, I guess he's on repeat. He said he was gonna break the record, and he ran a 4.4.
Oh, really?
Isaiah Bond's like, I'm gonna break the 40, and he runs a 4.41. Yeah, you ain't get close, dude.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
That's funny. Shayshawn Barkley. Barkley trademarked that name.
Did he?
He just trademarked that name, Shayshawn Barkley. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he did.
Interesting.
Ain't that wild? Ain't that crazy? Let's go. Eagles is right. Ill Skill says, did anyone else start rewatching The Sopranos last night? I did the other day. Yeah. I watched the first 3. Nifty David Super Chat goes, Slay would leave if DK went to the Commanders 100%. He said he was growling at him the last time they played. Yeah, he gave Slay all sorts of problems, dude. He's a talented player, man. Really talented. I think on another team.
That wild card game in 19 against Seattle, what did Jim Schwartz say to him? Didn't he say something to him before the game started, something stupid?
Something like you got talent, but you're not that, you're not a top-notch receiver yet, or you're not that good yet. You're not on that level. Yeah, he said something like that, and then DK Metcalf just crushed him. King of Kings, member for 25 months. He goes, what I miss? Hey, Joey, hey, 500. Not much. We were talking about the Eagles and what they're going to do now to counter the, Washington and the Deebo move and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. He said, you're not shout out to Chris Kaufman. He said, you're not Megatron, basically. That's what he,
you're not Megatron. Yeah. Yeah. Very stupid.
Dumb.
Very stupid. I think, to me, DK Metcalf, I'm surprised he hasn't put up bigger numbers. And I think part of it's been in Seattle. I think him leaving, I think he puts up big numbers.
I think it's been quarterback play. I think it's been, I don't know, maybe just some of the moves made offensively, coaching changes. I mean, it could be. God, he's a talent, man. I mean, But
sometimes I watch Seattle and it's like they forget he's there. They just ignore him. I'm like, how do you not get that guy involved, man? Daiquiri says, my dad passed away on Super Bowl Sunday, January 30th, 2000. He loved the Eagles, so this win is extra special for my family.
Oh, man.
Daiquiri, man, I'm sorry about your loss, even though it was, back then, but that's tough. And no, I understand why that would be extra special, man. That's, I hear you, man. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Nifty David Super Chat goes, DK has a mental lapse every game. I don't know. I mean, is that why he doesn't get the ball? I mean, maybe you got to keep him involved. You know what I mean? or you know, some guys, if you know they go too long without touch the ball, it kind of check, you know, they lose focus. Deep Space says 500. Imagine Mark Holmes' reaction if Dak Prescott gets traded to the Raiders and we beat them in the Super Bowl. Oh, look, I can't wait for the day. My most anticipated video, I tell everybody, is the day that Mark Holmes has to say goodbye to Dak Prescott. I live for that moment. I'm going to be the first person to click on that video. I can't wait when all of his delusions, all of it for all these years comes crashing to a halt. When it comes crashing down.
Mm-hmm.
He's $90 million against the cap right now. 90 million.
That's
they
crazy.
Have to restructure his deal to get 40 million in cap space. And I'm not sure they're going to do it. They're that dumb.
They might have to.
They're that dumb, dude. Why would it have taken so long? Nick, DK needs AJ Brown's book on the sideline, right? Well, they're friends. They're good friends. So they play at the same school. So, yeah, you know, we'll see. But anyways, man, is there anything else you wanted to say before we get on out of here?
Yeah, guys, if you guys haven't, I've seen some people one or two people said they ordered some shirts from the Shakedown, all the really good Jalen Hurts merch that we do have right now. We have the champion shirt, the main thing shirt, selling like crazy. If you guys have it, definitely check in the link in below in both channels and in the live chat as well. I've seen people say they were, you know, one person said they bought. Some people said that they got stuff in and they love it. So we do appreciate it. Definitely go check it out, guys. We have T-shirts, hoodies,
it's a hot seller. Seller right now. And it's definitely my favorite one. No doubt about it. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to get out of here. You got anything planned tomorrow or anything?
Yeah, just got a video and, yeah, just the norm. So,
yeah, it's still weird for me no football on Sunday.
It is. Yeah.
I don't like it. So it is what it is, though. All right, guys, we're going to get on out of here. With that, we love yous. Peace out. And we'll talk to you later.
Peace out.
Bye.
Plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off! It's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dad. That was on you, Dad. That was on you, Dad.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott. Trying to feed the Lamb. You tried to feed the CeeDee Lamb. You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb. God. It's over. It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.